order. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day that you bless us with. We ask that you keep your hand upon each and every one that's here. Give us all safe journeys home. And Lord, we praise you, and in the wonderful name we pray. Amen. All right. Shelley, can I get a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Darrell Legg.
Here.
Melvina Shotpouch. Keith Austin. Here. Danny Callison. Here. Julia Coates. Here. Sean Crittenden. Here. Joe Deere. Mike Dobbins. Here. Rex Jordan. Here. Johnny Kidwell. Here. Wes Snowfire. Here. Dora Petzkowski. Here. Joshua Sam. Here. Mike Shambaugh. Here. E.O. Smith. Here. Condesa Teehee. Victoria Vasquez. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Shelley. If everyone had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting, can I get a motion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Reports, Human Services, Jennifer Kirby.
Good afternoon, Council. Just a few things to update you on that I know you're probably getting questions about code assistance. That will open tomorrow. So that is income-based, low income, in reservation, and will come through the Gadugi portal. So, and then the deadline will be 12/2, which is Friday on December the 2nd. So.
Will they do a media post that we can put on Facebook or whatever?
Yes, I've asked that
thank
be
you.
advertised, yeah, through that. And again, if they've qualified in the past when we had the income-based programs, you know, then they can make an application. If you've got questions about the income guidelines, you know, just let me know. I don't have those with me today, but that will start tomorrow, so be watching.
Pre-K through?
Yes, school age, K through 12. No, K through 12.
K through 12, okay.
Yeah.
Any questions, Sean?
Yeah.
Will you include the income guidelines with the brochure that we can share? Because they wouldn't want to apply on the Gadugi portal and
Not qualify.
yeah. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Go ahead, E.O.
Will there be any field visits?
If they need help, please go to any of our offices. We have 7 office locations, and then someone can help them fill it out from there. But at this time, we're not doing any on-sites.
Joe?
I had a question. On
Yeah.
some of the cards that are going out, like for homeless that are looking for houses, some people have asked for them to establish a residency, but they're homeless.
And, okay.
That's the same look I got too when they said that. That's why they're homeless, but, so, see if we can figure that out.
Okay, if you come across that, if you'll let me know, and maybe if there's a particular client or something that we need to make sure and flag, or if, but we'll send out a message to all the staff.
Yeah, that's all
But
I'm
if-
asking is you can figure
yeah.
out a general way to do it. That way I'm not having to call you every time because there's a bunch of homeless. And then sort of have a broad way to just deal with that.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
At the same time, what's the policy saying they're homeless? Do they just say they're homeless, or?
No, we check into, we ask a lot of questions. You know, like you said, they don't have an address, they don't have a place to stay. We go through a battery of questions regarding where they've stayed last. A lot of times, if they were with family, you know, they've been with family for quite some time. But most of the time when we do that, we require them, they have to do the job, you know, the job search and things after that. They've got to in some way, shape, or form, get in contact with career services if they're not actively already on a program. And so we try to work hand in hand with career services. We do work with them to try to get these homeless clients some kind of income coming in, so,
Well, I appreciate that. That'd be kind of a hard little hurdle to
yeah.
to help people, but you're helping a lot, so thank
Yeah.
you.
And do it, like, let's say if they are identified and verified as homeless, then would they qualify for emergency rental assistance?
Once, Jerry
Yeah.
can speak on that a little further, but, to receive any assistance from us, for rent, deposits, they got to establish that,
Exactly, yeah.
find that, yeah. But I'll let her speak on that.
So, yes, the answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
Once they've been determined, or it's been established that they are homeless, they would qualify for our temporary assistance program.
Right, TAP.
But that program is not something that can necessarily put someone in a place tonight, because they still have to go
Right.
find a place to rent. Where Jennifer kind of bridges that gap of a hotel stay or something to get us to where they can get into a rental unit. So we
Gotcha.
work together on that.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Any other questions?
And a lot of times it's us maybe starting that process of getting their benefits started if they're not on general assistance or they're looking for Social Security or disability.
Right. And I know sometimes our questions are repetitive here, but believe me, y'all do this every day. For us, we handle something like this maybe once a month, and
Right.
it helps refresh our mind, and I appreciate y'all
Right.
being able to do that. Do we have any other questions? Go ahead, Yo.
Okay, on the coat thing, it starts tomorrow and it ends on when?
December 2nd,
December 2nd.
which should be a Friday at 5 PM.
Okay. My concern about it is I know, like, we have a lot of elders that are raising their kids and they don't have internet and they may not get this information for 2 or 3 weeks. How come we got such a short time? Why shouldn't it be a little bit
well-
longer?
Well, we need to get payout out really fairly quickly. It comes this time of the year, frequently, so, they can just be waiting or go into our office and we'll get as many of them as we can get during that amount of time. We want to get payout done really quick. And we can't necessarily pay out until we get all the applications in, because then you're looking at duplicates, you're looking at other factors that factor in, into people making multiple applications as well.
And it's good to encourage our constituents to check the Gadugi portal regularly, because there's things that's going to pop up on there that you may qualify for, but that you may not qualify for, and so it wouldn't hurt just to keep them active on that portal, because stuff is going to turn up, that we may not get the word out there as fast as.
Right. And we do, on our end, try to set up all these applications to where those that don't have access, where we can enter those in. But, we do spend a good chunk of time going through duplicates in the clothing program and the coat program. And so, not saying that anyone's doing anything malicious, it's just if sometimes both parents will submit an application. Sometimes they didn't think one went through, and then we have to go through it. And we typically can't do that until all the applications are submitted,
Right.
so.
Anyone else? Yes, Belvada.
And each kid do have to have a CDIB card or tribe membership card?
Yeah, they have to be a tribal citizen. Mhm.
Anyone else? Speaker?
What if they're in the process of getting a card, and are they just, we've had people who have been waiting for a while and they have missed out on some services. Do you take those things into account?
We have to have a number. They have to have been assigned a number when they submit their application.
Okay, thank you.
And then just a quick note on LIHEAP. That'll be something that you guys are probably getting questions on. those letters, for those existing clients, those letters are going out now, should already be out from those that participated last year. So they do a full application this year and submit all their documents. And then anyone that has not been on LIHEAP before, they can sign up December the 1st. So they can give us a call. We can give them, if, they're not able to come into the office, we can figure out arrangements on making an application. But otherwise, they can come to our offices on December the 1st and make an application if they've never participated in LIHEAP.
Thank you, Jennifer. Go ahead.
Are you going to stick around for the whole meeting, or are you leaving?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Okay. Be sure we get together before we
Okay.
go. All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, Jennifer, thank you very much for your report. Up next, Michael Lynn is out. We have the great and mighty Andy Quitone. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you, guys. Yeah, Michael's not able to be here today, so you get the younger, better-looking version. You've got his report. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them the best I can.
Anyone have any questions for Andy? All right.
I know, it's an old trick I do. Throws people off. Yeah,
My
that's
God, he
it.
is better looking.
Exactly.
Man. Never thought about it.
Rip that mask off.
All right.
All right, well, thank you, guys, and I won't see you before Thanksgiving, so I hope everybody has a great holiday.
Hey, you too,
Bless
sir.
you, guys.
You too. Up next with Housing Services, Jerry Killer.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon, Jerry.
I have a update for you all, so if you will allow me to give you a short presentation, and I say short, I think it's about 50 slides long, but I'll go through it fast.
All right.
As you all know, back in the spring, the Housing, Jobs, and Sustainable Communities Act was reauthorized. Under Chief Hoskins' administration and the approval of this council, you invested a historic $120 million into this act. In the 17-plus years that I've worked for the Housing Authority, I don't know that I've ever seen an administration and a council support the Housing Authority to that manner. So I greatly appreciate it, and all of the people who will be served greatly appreciate it. But I wanted to give you an update on one specific piece of that, and that's all the construction piece of it. So there is new construction and some rental programs, and that's what I'm going to go through and give you all an update on. So for the rental projects, these will be like low-income rental housing. There's $4 million in the act for this. The first one that we're going to do is BIRDTAIL Edition. BIRDTAIL Edition is located on Ross Street here in Tahlequah. It's across from the outpatient clinic. There will be 16 rentals. We originally constructed this development in 1969, and then it was demoed in 2001, and we are going to rebuild it. We currently have, it is under contract with a construction manager. We have a groundbreaking that will be scheduled on November 29th. And there's a little map you can see where it's located. If you've been to the new clinic in Tahlequah, we're right across the road. This will be the signage when you pull into the addition. So give you kind of an idea of what those will look like. They will be some really nice-looking rental units. In Stillwell, we'll be doing 6 one-bedroom efficiency elderly rental units. Those will be located near North 5th Street and Dogwood, and we currently have those out for bid. There's a little map right there to give you an idea of that property. And this is the prototype for that, our one bedrooms. And that's the floor plan. In Locust Grove, we'll be doing single-family rentals. There will be 2 3-bedroom units and 4 2-bedroom units, and there will also be a community building on this site. An idea of the prototype of that, and a layout of what that block looks like. In Salisaw, we will be doing 16 duplexes. I'm sorry, we'll be doing 8 duplexes, 16 rental units on the west side of our office. The preliminary plat has been approved, and we're waiting on DEQ approval for the water and sewer. And to give you an idea of where those will be located. And what we anticipate the units to look like. These will be really nice as well. In Marble City, we'll be doing 4 one-bedroom efficiency elder units. We've identified some lots, so we're in the process of procuring that property. It'll be across the fire station on Muskogee Avenue there in Marble City. And it will be the one-bedroom units, just like we're doing in Stillwell. Our new Construction Plus program, if you all remember, this is the program where we offer down payment assistance, $50,000 in down payment assistance for applicants who are on our new construction wait list with land. To give you an update of where we are with that, here's by county a breakdown of everyone that we have served so far and everyone who is in the process. So they're either going through self-sufficiency counseling, they're shopping for a loan, they're shopping for a unit, they're under contract of some sort. So we've served 97 people already with that program. And our regular new construction program for our applicants with land, this is a $30 million investment through the Act. These numbers were good last week, so they're probably actually higher because we take applications every day, but there are 493 people with land who are wanting us to build them a home. Just to give you a quick overview of the application process, I think we've talked about this before, but just to know the process it goes through before we get to construction. We determine eligibility. We determine if their affordability, we want to make sure that they're able to make the payment. It goes through land development, we go through closing, and then we go through the bid out process for construction. I do get a lot of questions about what the land development process is. So what we do is we go out, we do a site inspection, we make sure that the site is buildable. We obtain a 911 address, we establish utility assurances, we do a survey, an environmental review, title work and abstracting, and then we finally deed the property. So it is a bit of a process. We get through it as quickly as we can. We do as much of these things consecutively as we can so that we streamline it. And to give you an idea of where everyone is with their applications, everyone who has an application dated prior to April of 2022 is somewhere in the process. And then everyone who's applied from April through now will be pulled next month, and they will start the process. So everyone is moving. Everyone is getting something somewhere in the process. Now, the total development cost, I'm going to give you kind of a little bit of a history of the new construction program. When we started the program in 2012, we were averaging $67,000 to develop these units. Over time, the Housing Authority did have to subsidize that a little bit so we could keep their payments at where we had set it at the time. We were averaging $31,082 per unit in subsidy. So Housing Authority invested $25 million over a 10-year period. What we anticipate now, because of the price increase over the past 10 years, we anticipate a total development cost of about $220,000 per unit. So that is a dramatic increase. We have changed the floor plan a little bit of the unit. We transitioned from the second bathroom being a half bath to a full bath, and we're going to give some exterior options. That's one thing that I've heard from some of you is you want them to have some exterior options so we don't have 1,000 more houses that look like the 1,000 we have now. So there will be some options for them as well. That comes with costs, though, of course. The monthly payment that we anticipate, and this is just anticipated at this point. The policy talks about that the payment is to be based on the total development cost. Keep in mind, this is a zero down payment, zero interest for 30 years. Taxes and the insurance are included, and so we estimate charging $600. Now, if you were going to go out and get a mortgage for $220,000 at at the current fixed rate, which is 7.3%, you would need to have a down payment of $4,950 plus closing costs and your escrow. Your monthly payment would be $1,793. If you were going to get a mortgage and you qualified for mortgage assistance, your payment would be $1,665. So you can see $600 is a great homeownership option for the people that we're serving. And just to put this point home a little more, here are the current fair market rent values for 3 and 4 bedrooms in our 14 counties. The lowest one is $984 in Ottawa County. So you can't rent for what we will be charging for a homeowner program. So yes, it is going to be not the same payment as before, but it's still a very, very good option. And I will be happy to share this with any of you who want it when you get the phone calls. Of course, of course, of course. Absolutely.
So is this going to be, I know the interest rate has a possibility of going down in the future, the 7.3.
We sure hope so, but
My Lord. But is there any kind of, since you're involved, first line on this, is there any kind of trend of housing going back down eventually, or, I mean, and then everything we
Purchase
can
prices?
readjust and,
are you talking purchase prices?
Yeah,
or
material.
So purchase prices, we are seeing a little bit lower purchase prices because we're no longer necessarily in a buyer's market. Before it was so difficult because there were so many cash buyers when interest rates were low, and there were so many just cash buyers coming in, and it was eating up the market. So people
Yeah.
who were getting mortgages they couldn't even put an offer in because cash buyers were coming in. We're seeing that level off a little bit. Material costs, I don't really see those going back down. Of course, we're not going to be anywhere near where we were. I mean, we'll level off a little, but, not really.
yeah. Well, I see you revisiting the old Harley Buzzard pine trees up there at the Bull Holler pretty soon. Sean, go ahead.
Right. So, I know years ago, you had to make seemed like it was $18,000 to qualify. What's I know there's a lot of variables, but what would a person have to make nowadays to qualify for a home?
So we don't set a minimum payment. What we do is we look at their debt-to-income ratio, and we just want to make sure that doesn't exceed 40%. So we are pulling credit reports through the affordability, but it's not credit-based. We're just looking at what their debt is, and we're looking at their income, and we're trying to determine what their payment affordability is. So it's going to differ for every person, for every family, for every individual applicant, it's going to differ. But
The good
we are-
money managers, they may make less, but be able to
Absolutely.
get, okay.
Absolutely. And even if they don't, right away meet affordability, we have self-sufficiency counselors that are going to work with them to try to figure out, what debt can we get paid down to where you can meet the affordability.
Also, I know this is not yours, but when people can get individual 184 loans, now that's still a great option as well. right?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Joe?
Hey, Jerry, you said you had 493 land that are ready to go, like people that can build their house.
Active applications,
Right.
yes.
Okay, how are you doing on contractors that are building houses? Are you short? Where are you?
Absolutely.
How
Absolutely,
short?
we're short.
How many do you have now?
How many contractors that we have building houses right now? I have 4
Oh, wow.
that are doing new constructions.
Right.
Rehabs are different, but new constructions, I've got 4 right now that are doing new
And
constructions.
what's the average time for them to put one in, whether it's a 2 or a 3? 90 days?
90 days is what we have asked them. 180 days, we do some contracts for 180 days when there are multiple on the contract.
Okay, so you're bidding them out at singles and multiple still?
Yes.
Okay, based on the size of the company?
Once we start getting more ready we'll do them in packages as more come through, because that's a whole lot easier on the contractors to bid on a package.
And are you still doing 3-stage payments?
Yes.
Okay.
30, 85, 30, 60, and 100.
Right.
Yes. with a retainage,
Yep. Is it 5%?
10.
10? That's all I had. Thank you.
Do you mind if I make a comment real fast? I'll speak to the council on this if I'm allowed, but, you know, we went and we bypassed Terrell for the emergency rehab stuff through this council. Is that something that anybody, and we can open it up for discussion if allowed, is that something that we need to visit about looking outside of the Terrell vendor list and maybe hiring outside people to come in here and take care of some of this list? I mean, I'm. What- And that's all do people know this, or do they think that's, maybe we need to say, come on and bid on these projects?
So that's one thing, yes, I'll go ahead and address it now. There's some more stuff in the slides later on, but, you know, Career Services has done a phenomenal job for us to go out and try to recruit some more contractors. And we are to the point now where we have a list, and we're able to start contacting them. We're seeing a few bids come in, not a whole lot yet, but that process is in the works.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that, and, you know, they have another event scheduled tomorrow in Oklahoma City. I think they're going to plan some events throughout the spring, so they are doing a great job to try to get us some more contractors.
Okay.
So, and then our own individual procurement and contract staff are constantly reaching out, calling people, not only on the Terrell list, but any way that we can find contractors, we are trying to get the word out.
Okay. And I just say that to try to help speed this along,
Of
y'all,
course.
you know, so,
Yes.
for sure. Danny?
Yes, Jerry. On the $50,000 that people have that you're giving for them to build their own house, if one we build is $220,000, where are these folks that get the $50,000 going to come up with the $170,000 to build a house?
Well, they still have to obtain outside lending. I mean, they still have to get a mortgage. And so they can, we offer our floor plan for them to build if they want. They can go out and buy a house. It doesn't have to be a construction. They can do acquisition. They can buy mobile homes. You know, they have a lot more options going that route.
I guess what I'm trying to understand is, why would you build your own and have to borrow $170,000 and make a $1,700 a month payment when you can wait on the nation? And is that something that I'm not seeing the correlation with?
I think people who want more options, I think people who don't want to have to sign a contract with the housing authority for 30 years and go by our regulations, you know, that's a better option for them to do the $50,000, to where they can build whatever they want, they can buy whatever they want. It's not the housing authority building this specific house and you can't customize it. So it's just it's an option. You're welcome.
Anyone else? Go ahead, speaker.
Hey, Jerry, what's the average wait time to get into a new home?
Now, are you talking about now? You're talking about the people who've applied years ago who have been waiting. So right now, like I said, anyone who has been through or who has applied up till April, they're in the process somewhere. So if you apply now, you're probably going to be on the wait list 30 days, maybe 60 days until we do our next pull, because we're pulling once a month. Processing time to determine your eligibility, a lot of that depends on the applicant. How soon are they getting the paperwork back to us that we need? So that should take about 15 days to do that if they get us everything. Could take up to 60 if they drag their feet before they get stuff to us.
So what about the people who have been on the list for a while?
So
I've talked to people who've been on for 5 years.
They're somewhere in the process. So depending on where they're at, they are either in affordability. So going through affordability takes a couple weeks to where we're pulling their credit, making sure they can afford the unit, and then going through land development, which takes, if there are no title issues, if everything is good, there's no mortgage, and land is free and clear, there's no title issues, we can probably get through that in about 60 days and then get them ready for bid out.
Well, I just know that there's a lot of people who've been waiting a long time, and are people going to be able to jump in front of those people who have been waiting a long time because of a different program, or are they going to
No.
are they going to be put behind the people who have been waiting for 4 and 5 years?
No. I mean, their applications are still processed by date and time, and then it's just going through the process. Now, if someone who's been waiting 4 or 5 years has a title issue, that's gonna have to go through an attorney to get cleaned up, that's gonna take longer, and there may be someone come behind them that doesn't have title issues, but that has land free and clear.
Well, I know people who've been through the process and everything's good to go, they're still waiting years. I mean, is anything sped up, or, I mean, is there?
So we only started processing these applications again in the late spring, when this act was passed. So there were people prior to that were just waiting, and we started in the spring, going all through this process. So starting from ground zero with those applicants to determine eligibility, going through affordability, going through land development. So if they've been on the wait list prior to April of 2022, they are in that process somewhere.
Okay. Well, you know, one of the big complaints that I'm sure we've all had is nobody can ever tell them how close they are to getting a home. I mean, nobody will give them an answer. And that makes it tough on us too, because people want an answer. I know that there's different phases that they have to go through before, you know, how many phases are there? 4, 3? What is it, 4?
There's 3 phases before we get to
Okay.
construction, yeah.
Okay. Well, it may be something to be able just to tell them, hey, you're in phase 2, or you're in phase 3, instead of just saying, hey, we can't tell you anything. I mean, because that really upsets people when they can't get some type of answer. So maybe that might be a way to let them know where they are in the process, but I can tell you that upsets people when they can't get some type of answer, or somebody just refuses to answer that question.
Right.
So it makes it difficult for us.
Understandable.
So maybe that's a thought
Yes.
if you could look at.
And in fact, Shay and I have actually been talking about that, getting some processes lined out, some guesstimates of timeframes that
Right.
we can share with people. You know, like you said, every phase is a whole different department. And so the Department 4 may not know exactly what everything goes through, but we're working through that with the staff to where they're able to have some better information in front of them to give some generals about what happens next.
Yeah, that would help a lot. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, real quick, I know I asked you about that, just hit me, on your bonding, are you requiring bonding? I know you do it different with Taro than you do the non-native. Are you requiring the 1 million, 2 million, 1 million for the building?
We do, yes, but I think there are some exceptions, but let me get that information for you.
Okay, and so if you're going 1-2-1, are you doing, is it better for those non-natives to go through career services or the housing to apply to become an eligible contractor? To get on the list to be a contractor to bid on procurement? Or can they just go on procurement and just apply?
They can just go on
They
procurement
can
and
go
just
straight
start
on
bidding.
procurement, print it off,
Absolutely,
apply, and
absolutely.
it's still on a 7-day, or is it?
They're all
the bid
different. You know,
process.
our minimum bid out is 3 days. We have to have stuff on the website for 3 days. Depending on what it is, sometimes we go longer if it's a bigger job or,
So if they go straight through, is the bonding on that paper for the bid?
yes,
Okay, so they can just look on there and see what
Yes.
bonds they can go.
yes. And if there are any questions about any of that, they can call, there should be a contact person on there, either whether it be contractor or procurement, and they'd be more than happy to walk them through any of that.
Okay, all right, thanks, Chair.
You bet. Hold on just a second. Hold on. Door.
Yes, what phase would a citizen be in if Cherokee or Housing has brought a pod and set it in their front yard, put their furniture in it? If the pod has been delivered, are you saying then that the person has been, they've met the requirements that they needed to, or you wouldn't bring a pod, I'm assuming?
Right, so what you're actually talking about is a replacement home through housing rehab. So that would mean they've been approved for a replacement home.
Right.
Or even if they're just getting rehab and they have to relocate, then, you know, we would bring a pod for them. So their job is under contract.
Okay,
at that
because I
point.
have a citizen that moved out of her home January the 1st of this year. The pod was brought. She got all of her furniture out. She was able to live with family, I think, up until June, and then they kind of wanted her to go elsewhere. And she did go into an apartment. Housing is paying for that. So nothing has been done, other than the pod has been brought, and she put all her furniture in it. Nothing.
If you will get with me after this and give me her name, I'll see what's going on with it.
Okay.
Danny?
Jerry, when you have a contractor, do you guys, do they have to have the full amount to do the project? In other words, are they not paid till the project's finished? Or do you distribute that out in portions as they move along?
It depends on the project. So if it's a rehab, rehabs generally are paid out at the completion. If it's a bigger rehab, we might do a 50 and 100%. It depends on the amount of the job.
What about a new home?
New constructions are paid in 3 payments. We do a 30, 60, 100%. So there's inspections, there are things that have to be met for when it gets to 30%, 60%, and then at completion.
The only reason I ask is I've got a man that could be Terrell, but as he builds houses, he says that's how he gets his work done, and he gets good work done is at the end of the week, at the end of their job, they're paid immediately instead of having to wait so many days. And that was one of the questions he asked of how you paid it out, so that was why I was asking. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Danny. Speaker?
I know we have a tarot list that we get on Indian owners of businesses. You say we're getting contractors who are not Indian-owned because we have to get things done. Do you have a list of those? How many of those non-Indian contractors do we have at this time? Do you know?
I don't have a number, but I will certainly look and get you a
Okay.
number.
That would be great. All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Got you.
Jerry, just to kind of put that contractor thing in perspective, like, let's say a miracle happened and a lot of contractors waltzed in ready to build. How many on our end are ready to go? I mean, paperwork's done, everything's done. We're just waiting on the contractors. Is it quite a bit? How many could be built?
I don't know that exact number, because we have quite a few that are still in land development,
Okay.
and
And another thing, just 3 or 4 homes I've seen over the years kind of for sale, like new construction homes. My wife read me one yesterday. I didn't see it. I might be mixed up, but she was telling me about what it looked like, and they were selling it for this amount. Do we have anything in our contract saying they can't do that for so many years, or are they kind
No.
of getting a cheap flip sometimes?
no, there's nothing that says they can't sell it. They just have to pay us off. So, because if it's a new construction home, we hold the deed to that. So when they go to sell it, we don't give them the deed until they pay us off
Not
the
knowing
balance.
any of that policy, not smart enough, but do you see putting something like that more in the future? Or how about replacement homes where it's essentially free?
Replacement home, I mean, we've had people sell replacement homes within a year of them getting built.
Ouch.
Dealing with one right now, actually. But, and again, it's the same thing. I mean, there's a deed restriction agreement, so they hold the deed, but we have a lien on it essentially with the deed restriction agreement. So they do have to pay us back the money that was put into it.
Okay, and
Okay.
I think this one I was seeing recently was pretty good, pretty penny. So they,
New construction,
could pay
new
you
construction or
back.
the replacement home? Because I've seen both recently that I was,
well, they can
wow.
pay you back.
Plus some,
still make
and,
money.
and they've got money in their pocket.
Ouch. So there's nothing at this time. Do you foresee putting anything in there in the future? Because it,
Possibly. I mean, it's something that we could definitely look at.
thank you.
You're welcome. Am I ready to continue?
Anyone else? If no other questions, Jerry, we appreciate you. You got a lot going on.
Well, I've got more. I'm not done.
Oh!
I still have like 20
gotcha,
slides to
gotcha.
go.
Let's go.
So the next section of the presentation is about the applicants who do not have land. So as you know, when we started the program in 2012 and started opening up applications, you could apply if you had land, and if you didn't have land, you could still apply. But we weren't ever really able to serve them. So that is one thing that Chief Hoskin wanted us to make sure that we were to address those families who didn't have land. So with that, we looked at doing some housing additions all throughout the reservation. This is a heat map of sorts of applicants who we have already determined are eligible. So these people, they have gone through affordability and they are ready to go, and these are the counties of preference that they've told us they would love to live in, the community of preference, I'm sorry, that they want to live in. So the first project we'll be doing, the Housing Authority will be doing in Collinsville. It's going to be a 16 single-family, 3-bedroom unit addition. We have 2 acres still on that tract that we will be doing a park or something. It's the location is on North Sheridan Road and 136th Street North. We should have our final plans for the houses in the next 2 weeks and get ready to get those bid out. But this is a 20-acre piece of property that we have in Collinsville.
Nice.
It'll be a very nice addition. In Briggs, we'll be doing 3 single-family, 4-bedroom homes. This is on some property that the Housing Authority owns. And this kind of gives you an idea of what our exterior options of our 3 bedrooms will look like. And there's, right there in the yellow is where that property is located in Briggs. Autumn Woods here in Tahlequah, it's out on Bryant Road. We'll be doing 19 single-family homes. So we'll do 10 3-bedrooms and 9 4-bedrooms. This is already an established housing addition that we own, so we're just going to be adding to that housing addition. And to give you an idea of, this is what that addition looks like.
Man.
And it will just be our regular 3- and 4-bedroom house. And then we have partnered with Cherokee Nation Businesses, and they are going to be working on some housing additions with us as well. And so we have Sean. Are you ready?
I don't know about ready. What do I need to?
Do you want me to click for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, Jerry, and
Push your button.
thank you, Jerry. And I appreciate being here today, and it's good to be back, see a lot of people that I've known in the past and worked with, and want to compliment the chief and the council for what they're trying to do for the people here. Just today, if you read the article on Yahoo News, it's everybody across the United States is really in a jam, especially first-time home buyers, to try to find something that they can afford, and the effort that you're making and the money that you're putting in to make it possible is to something that is near and dear to the people's hearts. And I believe that in the long run that things like this are what make the Cherokee Nation great to be a part of. And as far as C&B, we were asked to help with the landless homes doing the construction. Our construction department, led by Kevin Ogle, is working with the Housing Authority, and so over the past 6 months, we've been trying to come up with some places to build homes based on the heat map that Jerry was talking about. And certainly the first 2 that we have our eye on and are in process with actually is Tahlequah. We purchased land there at the corner of Cedar and Allen, and we'll be building 25 homes. If you drive by that corner, you will see that the grubbing and cleaning of that lot has started, and we hope to break ground at the end of this month, the first part of December on that area. The second location that we've acquired property is in Stillwell, and we are working through the process there to get that closed. And then these are the other areas that we are currently looking in. I believe the nation has a resolution out there that was passed last month that would help for Muskogee and Jay and a few other places. And if that goes through, then we'll be able to address some needs in those communities as well. So this is a picture of where we are on Allen Road in Cedar. It's just south of the bypass there, and it's about, I'd say 6 blocks from NSU. It's right across the street from the nursing home that's there on the corner. And that's going to be a really good site, and this is what they're platted with half-acre lots. And there will be a playground for the kids, and it'd be a nice addition there. We're currently thinking that we're going to be able to build 14 homes in Stillwell on this site. It's right next door to the 1982 housing addition, if you know where that is, on kind of the south side of town there. In Muskogee, just west of the clinic, we are looking at building 12 homes on that lot. These pieces of property will, at Muskogee, will hold more than 12, but we're going to just build 12 to begin with, and as demand necessitates it, we'll build more. At J, pending approval there, right behind the old Walmart, there's a site, and we anticipate building 6 homes in the J area. Salisaw, Housing Authority already has land that's platted there, and we are looking at building 12 homes there. We have 4 different models, and if you were here back in 2012, 2014, Cherokee Nation businesses built homes in West Siloam behind the casino, in Rowland, and also in Vienne. And those are the same type homes that we'll be building now. They'll average 1,600 square feet under roof. They're half acre, quarter acre to half acre, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. They'll be full brick with asphalt shingles. We'll have handicap homes, and at the Tahlequah addition, there'll be 3 of those, one for about every 8 homes. We're going to try to work into the master closet a safer room, shelter for people, and there will be energy efficient, Gold Star rated appliances and lighting packages as well. And this is just, these next 4 slides are just kind of what they look like. Okay, the construction management and bid process that we're going to follow is at Tahlequah. We're doing a construction manager, Builders Unlimited, and they're a Taro firm. Stillwell, we'll be using Masca, a Taro firm. Future developments going forward, we're kicking around the idea of just using a GC, see if we can get improve the timelines to get these done. We work closely with the Taro database and utilize vendor information from the recent job fair that Career Services had. And our bid process is we follow what the Housing Authority does. The bids are posted and open publicly, and it follows the same exact one that they're using. And, you know, hats off to Jerry and her people, because not only are they working on what they're doing, they're also a vital part of what we're doing as well. So they're kind of doing double duty here. Challenges to overcome. The construction management bidding process we just went through, there were a lack of bidders in this, and it goes to what Jerry was saying and Joe was talking about there. We're down to taking the list and calling the Taro vendors and calling the people that were at the job fair A lot of the trades like painting, we didn't get any bids for these homes. Window installers, didn't get a bid for sheetrockers. So, you know, it's tight out there. And what's happening is we're competing across the nation with all these projects up north of Jay, I believe. Tyson's relocating their headquarters, and they're building a lot of homes up in northwest Arkansas and in that area to try to have a place for them. So it's just, you know, sucking the labor pool dry. What's also driving labor shortages is the Cherokee Nation. You're so busy. I believe there were 66 projects out there that we're competing with internally for that pool of Terrell people. And it's a great problem to have in that there's plenty of work for everyone. The challenge becomes how do you get these done, you know, quickly when the labor pool is so dry. And then again, the nationwide construction demand is absorbing any that might be left over. The market impact, development cost, you know, like Jerry alluded to, from what it used to be, it's totally different. Land acquisition costs are high. Asphalt and concrete are at all-time highs. Material has been, it's kind of leveled off and maybe coming down a little bit, but you know, every time that happens, there's a hurricane somewhere and wipes out half the drywall supply. And then labor and estimated square foot cost has gone from, you know, $100 a square foot up to $200 in some cases and a little more. So, you know, it's a daunting task, and that's why I commend you for providing resources to help mitigate some of this. So that's my presentation, I think.
Yes.
And if you have a question, I'll try to answer that.
Councilman Deere?
Yes, sir.
Hey, you were talking about the 2012 when we did some of those houses. Are they still doing the spec requirement, like the windows? And then, you know, we ran into that problem where those windows were gone. Are they able to do variables now,
Yes.
as long as they can still do the insulated?
Yes, that problem shouldn't be an issue. The issue is just windows in general.
Right, and drywall.
And drywall.
And the second question, drywallers, should they go to straight Builders Unlimited, or they should go through Kevin?
They can go through either one. We just had a meeting this morning. I left that to come here, and we're beating those lists to death. And as Jerry said, everything is posted out there. So if they'll watch the website, but we've got two projects, one getting ready to kick off and the other one right behind it. If you know people, send them to us, and we'll
Okay.
get
And that's why I
after
was wondering, because I remember we ran into the roofing, the 2030 year, whether it was regular or architectural, and we ran into that shortage, so.
Right.
And we were halfway done with that subdivision, and.
Yep.
So that's why I was wondering to tell these guys if there's a variable, if they can move on with something else.
Yeah, I'll refer them to Builders Unlimited and
Yeah.
Masca. They're the ones responsible for.
Okay, and that's what I was gonna do too. I just wanna make sure.
Yeah.
That was a process, because I know when Tina was there, that was different too, so.
Right.
Okay, good seeing you, Sean.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Councilman Callison?
Yeah, don't anybody take this but we don't seem to build many to the northwestern end of the reservation. Is there a reason why? I know we have 15 or 20 acres right in the middle of Pryor that's been sitting there for several years. So just as a selfish question,
Well,
I ask that because it seems like everything we're building south and nothing is going to be built north. So I didn't know if you guys had guidelines that you went across to get that away, or where we went with that.
well, this is not an all-inclusive list. This is just where we're at right now. There will be more coming. And I do know that we're looking at, the Housing Authority has property in Pryor, and Sean and his crew are working to try to acquire more land to give us better access to our property. So there will be more locations added to this list. This is not an all-inclusive list. There will be more. And further north. Thank you. You're welcome.
Jerry and I are first cousins, so I kind of got an inside track on that. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. I'm not. Councilman Crittenden.
I just want to follow up. It's fun to talk about housing. I've been doing it since 2015. But what a great time to be in the nation, though. I mean, we've invested money, got a great plan. The ball is rolling.
Yeah.
And, so at the end of the day, we're sitting pretty, and I just want to thank you guys, of course, administration, my fellow council people here. That plan up there says a lot, and we're moving in a good direction, so thank you.
Well,
Good
thank
problem.
you.
Good
Thank
problem
you.
to have.
Yeah.
Anyone else? All right.
Thank you.
Sean, I want to tell you, it's good to see you again, my friend. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Thank you, sir.
You
It's
bet,
good to be
you
here
bet.
today.
All right. Jerry, thank you for coming. Great presentation. All right, old business done pending, new business?
Chair, I would like to make a motion to withdraw this resolution.
Do I have a second? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, thanks, sir. Motion is withdrawn. Any announcements? If none, make a motion. All in favor? Thank you.